Hi everyone, it's Karen Whooley and welcome to this week's Team Whooleygan live chat. I'm really excited to be here. It's Wednesday, March 31st. Can you believe we are already 90 days into the year? I mean, it seems like 2021 is going like a lightning bolt. But before I get started and head over to the chat rooms to see who's all here, I wanted to just make sure that if you're watching this after the fact, that you click the subscribe button below. If you're watching on YouTube, below this video. If you're watching on Rumble, above this video. I go on every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I'm hoping that you'll join me if you haven't been able to in the past. If you want to find out more about me, you can visit my website at KarenWhooley.com. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. This is the subscription link. If you're a newsletter subscriber, make sure that you take advantage of some of the things that I do for all my newsletter subscribers. You get everything first. Newsletter subscribers are the only people who get 25% off new releases. And I'm hoping to have some new things happening later on this year. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you go over and subscribe to my newsletter to be the first to find out about all those new things. I wanted to let you know that I'm also on Instagram at Karen Whooley. There's no space between my name. So you go ahead and check me out there. I've been a little quiet lately, doing just mostly pre-scheduled posting, but soon you'll see me more live there again. And then also, again, I mentioned Rumble. If you have never used Rumble, this is my Rumble channel. It's just a different video platform, and at some point they're going to let us live stream there as well. I have to check and see if that has become available yet. I haven't really looked into it recently, but go ahead and check there. And if you haven't joined Rumble, I'm having a really hard time talking today, guys. If you haven't joined Rumble, I have an affiliate link here to join me there in Rumble. And I think that's it for my pre-show information. I'm going to take that link back off. I'm going to go over to chat and see who's all here. Hi, Linda and Brad. You're both here. It's good to see you. Hi, Aunt Ida. It's good to see you too. And hi, Patricia. How are you doing with your recovery? I saw, I was thinking about you earlier this week, and I didn't want to email you because I didn't know where you were in recovery. So let us know how you're doing. I'm hoping you have a really quick recovery too, like Aunt Ida said. So hope you guys are doing well. Are you guys having a good week? I am having, it's been an interesting week. I haven't bounced back from my last treatment as quickly as I thought I would. Today I seem to be feeling better. So if I seem a little off, that's probably why. Yesterday, I actually took a 2.5-hour nap. So, and that hasn't happened since the beginning of my my treatments. So, but I've only had 2 more treatments, one tomorrow and one next week on Thursday. And then I'm done with this round of treatments. So I'm very excited for that. I'm very, very excited. So first I thought I'd talk to you, show you guys what I've been up to. I think I showed you the yarn last week. Here's the label. I showed you that Bellatrix Brioso that I'm going to put their website back up. It was that purple color yarn. Well, I wound it up after our live chat last week, and I actually finished it on Sunday. It needs to be blocked desperately. It's lace, and it's desperately needs to be blocked. It's actually, it was supposed to be a shawl, but I didn't quite have enough to make a shawl, so it's more of a scarf length. I guess you could wear it as a little mini shawlette. It's actually a sample for the class I'll be teaching for Crochet Texas in May. It's using my Delta lace technique that I teach a lot of. It's not actually mine. It's actually a lace technique that I learned from a man that did it in Germany, and he used to teach through patterns. And then I've applied what he did in cotton threads to yarn. And so I do a lot of things. If you have my book from Annie's Attic, or Annie's, I guess it's Annie's catalog, Learn to Delta Lace Crochet, it's the stitches in there. That book is no longer available on their website, but you probably can find it on, well, I think I've seen it a couple times on Amazon. It might be really high priced, or eBay. I mean, all the usual places where you find used books. But this is using the triple crochet delta stitch and some rows of double crochet in between. So that is finished. Today I'm going to block it. But the funny thing is about this is bamboo yarn. And one of the things I completely forgot about bamboo yarn is that it likes to eject the dye. And so I have these gray fingernails, or fingernail polish on it. It needs to be changed. But when I was finished with this on Sunday, I had picked up the purple on my nails. My nails looked terrible. I had to scrub them and scrub them. I think it took like 2 days of showers, washing my hair to actually get all that dye off of my hands. Just for your information, with bamboo, I found that to be true with almost every bamboo I've ever worked with. This is 100% bamboo. So if it's a blend, it's probably not as prevalent, but every 100% bamboo, it will eject the dye a little bit onto your hands. So just so you guys know. Also, there's something else I want to tell you about this. Oh, yes, with blocking bamboo. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about with bamboo is that if you soak it, like I usually do a wet block. And what that means is you do drop the item into water and let it soak until it's really saturated, and then remove it and kind of towel dry it very, very gently, and then block it on your blocking board. Bamboo, you can't do that. Bamboo, literally, you have to pin it out to shape. If you have blocking wires, you can use the blocking wires to straighten your edges and things like that. And then you take a spray bottle. My husband, it's empty right now. I'm going to do this after. This is just an old spray bottle we haven't used. It was never used. But you fill it up with water, and then once it's pinned out, you spray it until it's soaked. And the reason being is that the water actually will break down the bamboo fibers. So if you soak it and then stretch it, you'll start fraying all the edges and your stitches will come out. But if you just spray it until you don't want it soaked, I guess you want it really damp. The fibers will still swell, but they will not fray. So just a little tip on the blocking bamboo. Hopefully I will get this done today, and next week I can show you the block piece. I had 2 skeins of this yarn, and this is all I had left. So I didn't even have enough to do one more repeat. I could probably do maybe like a row and a half, 2 rows of the Delta lace stitch with what's left here. So, but I wanted to show you guys that. It really turned out pretty. I love, that was just extra strands. I love it. You guys can probably see it on the screen. I can see it on the screen, that there's all the tonality in the purples here. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, it goes from different shades of purple to another different shade of purple. It's really cool. So let's see. Hi, Ruth. Good to see you. I'm so proud of you for doing all of those videos this year, Ruth. With my treatments, I got to the point where I just could not go on camera other than just to do these videos. So I am so proud of you for always doing all those videos. And you would have thought to buy it with more like silk using steam. No, because the steam, and ask me how, I learned the hard way. If you steam it, it will literally melt. And again, you lose your stitches. Bamboo is a very, very, very delicate fiber. I don't even know how else to describe it. You literally cannot steam it. Cannot use heat. You have to use cold water. It swells, and you have to be careful when you pin it out too, that you don't stretch it too much, because the fibers do swell enough that if you stretch too far, it will also break the fibers. But you just have to be really, really, really careful. So Let's see, Brat's mom loves that purple. Yay. I do too. It's a really pretty purple. Really, really pretty purple. I am surprised because in the hank, it didn't look like it had all these different shades of purple in it. It wasn't until I started crocheting it that I really, even winding it, it didn't seem like it was, I mean, it was tonal, but not quite what I see here when I crocheted it. So it's really pretty. Let's see. Ruth says, it's been a blessing with my sketch. I'm glad. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, to start International Crochet Month, today is the last day of International Crochet Month. I had done a video challenge on Instagram where every day there was a topic, and I was able to actually schedule the first 7 or 8 of them that I did. I did them back to back so that I could just pre-schedule them. But then as my treatments got harder and harder to deal with, I just couldn't do it anymore. And those of you who follow me on Instagram probably notice how much I've slacked off on Instagram lately. But Ruth took up the challenge and she's been doing it amazingly. And I just saw a couple of them come through yesterday, and I meant to go back and watch them all, and I haven't. So I need to go do that, Ruth. So yeah, melt. It is very sensitive. Any of the non-wool fibers out there can be sensitive. There used to be a yarn out there. I don't know if another company has picked it up, but there used to be not collage. Yeah, collage with a K. Collage yarns. They used to have a corn fiber that was absolutely beautiful. Oh, the sheen on it. Bamboo has a really gorgeous sheen, but the corn was even shinier. I don't even know how to describe it. It was beautiful. And I had made a baby sweater out of it because it was a nice, it had a really nice drape, but it was still lightweight like cotton for a baby. And I went to block it with steam and literally melted the whole shoulder. I had to buy more yarn and make it. And this was before I knew how to really block. How to block, that every different fiber had a different, you have to really think about what fibers you're using. It was before I really started to study that. So yes, bamboo is very sensitive. Corn, silk, they're all very sensitive. Even cotton, I think we've talked about that before. Cotton can lose its shape and it doesn't bounce back. Wool and acrylic have that muscle memory, for lack of a better term, have that yarn memory where it can bounce back into shape even after blocking, but not any of those other, all of those plant-based or in the case of silk, insect-based fibers. So that's kind of my little spiel on blocking. Okay, so I showed you that. I also mentioned last week that I was knitting baby hats, and I haven't gotten very far on the one that I've been working on. I'm going to finish that stitch. I didn't realize I didn't finish the stitch before I put it down. This is one of those baby hats that I'm working on. It's in Seahawks colors. Here in Washington State, we love our Seahawks. So I make a lot of baby hats in this color because, boys, girls, doesn't matter. Everybody loves the Seahawks around here. So, or at least on when I lived on the west side of the state. Now on the eastern side, there's a lot more variety on teams. A lot of Patriots fans. We just saw a Cleveland Browns fan the other day. The Broncos, the Raiders, all that. So, but I still make Seahawks because they're primarily who people root for around here. The yarn I'm using is Cascade Fixation. This is Cascade Yarns Fixation. It's the one that has elastic in it. So it's got some, some stretch to it. And I always make the hat the same. This is knitted. It's just one of those projects that I can take with me anywhere. I always have one done. I make them for charity. So they go to the NICU units or to Catholic charities or to any other, whenever I've got a bunch of them together. I do have a few. I just saw them the other day. Here's my, I have a bag. I have bag hats. Anytime I finish one, I put them in here. And then when I got about 6 or 8, I find out who's looking for hats, and I send them off. Now this one these are all for Cascade Fixation. This one's completed, and you can do these hats 2 ways. This one is knitted so that there's really no brim on it. This one is knitted the same way, but a little bit longer, so I can put a roll brim. Oh, there we go. This one's got a little roll brim. And this one's really cool because when I have leftovers of different colors, you can see I started with this blue, pink, and reddish color, and then I finished the crown with a different colorway. So it kind of makes them a little fun too. So it's a good way to use up the scraps. And I've had hats where I've made like used 3 different scraps of other hats. So it's a really easy pattern. If you're a knitter, all you have to do is get the fixation, and you get size 4 knitting needles. I use 9-inch, so I don't have to use magic loop. I can just work in the round. And you cast on 80 stitches, and you just knit in the round until it measures. If you want the brim, it's 5 inches. If you don't want the brim, it's 4 inches. And then you start decreasing the crown. And that's when, even with the 9-inch needles, I end up doing magic loop a little bit with that. But you decrease 8 stitches every other row until you're down to a total of 8 stitches. And then you cut your yarn and weave through the top and pull through. So you get the top and then weave in your ends and you're done. So that's what I'm working on as far as the charity project. And I wanted to mention too, I have to show you my stitch marker. I don't know if you guys can see this real well. I'm going to try. This is a glass stitch marker. It looks like the waves in the ocean and the sandy beach. I don't know if that's real clear, but that's what it is. It's made by Ann Tudor. She's one of my favorite people to get markers from. This is an actual knitting one. She started making just knitting ones, and then a bunch of crocheters came to her and said, we need crochet markers. So now all of her markers come like this. And some of you, if you've bought some of my books, she has done my books, the markers for my books in the past. But now all of her markers come with a lobster clasp type thing that opens up, but it's not really a lobster. I guess it's just like an earring almost, where it opens up and then closes. So they're big enough for knitting needles, but crocheters can use them too. And so this happens to be one of her sets. She has a series of gnomes. So these are her gnome markers. I can't remember if these are spring or summer. I have all of them. There's spring, and then there's fall, and then there's, I don't know, she has winter, and she has spring, summer, fall, and winter. Yeah, so there's 3. And then the 4th set, I think this was her okay, so these are the season ones. So she has, there's 4 different sets of gnomes with seasons, and then she had a Christmas ones. And I had to have Christmas because Christmas is my favorite holiday. They're awesome. She makes great markers. Check her out. She even does video of how she makes her markers. So if you're interested in a torch with glass, she does the I don't know if it's propane. It's some sort of gas torch that she uses with the sticks of glass, and she melts them and she makes them and manipulates them. Go check her out. I see there's some pretty stitch marker. Yes, French hook for earrings. That's what it is. And oh, hi, Anna Louise. I'm so glad you're here. I didn't see you pop in. The gnomes are so cute. They're, I'm not a gnome person normally, but I love those markers. So that's her website there on the bottom. So check that out. So that's the second project I'm working on. And then I want to show you some yarn. Of course. What else am I going to show you? Well, this is This is a skein I've had in my stash for a while. It's called Lights is the colorway. It's kind of white with a lot of speckles in it. Can you see that? And there's a little bit of, like there's some blues in there and stuff. This is from a company called Serial Knitters. And she calls it Dye House Yarns by Serial Knitters. Serial Knitters used to be a yarn shop that I used to go to over on the west side. COVID actually made her close her doors. But she's always dyed yarn for the shop. And so she decided to keep her yarn going. So she's now calls it the Serial Knitters Underground, and that's her website right there. This is Lights. I'm going to be winding this later today. This is a colorway she's no longer dyeing, unfortunately. I just talked to her earlier this week. I have a pattern I'm going to do with this yarn. I'm going to actually make a sample for me first. But she's sending me a different color, which I hope I'll have by next week, so I can show you next week the color that she's sending me. But it's very similar. It's just not quite the same. I think it's called Flower Girl, but it's a similar idea. But so I'm going to make this a sample for me in this colorway that I can keep because I really love this colorway. And then I will make the sample for the pattern in the new colorway. But isn't this pretty? This is so awesome. She really is a great dyer. If you have my pattern, Girasole, which is a sunflower in Italian. It's a shawl. It's orange and kind of got black speckles in it. You can find it on my website. That I did that in the same base, different color, obviously, for one of our local yarn shop tours 3 years ago, maybe now. So I've used her yarn before, and it's great yarn. So if you're interested in that yarn, definitely check her out. She's a great dyer, and she's got some really amazing colors. And she's been doing some virtual pop-ups. So follow her on Instagram, and she will do some virtual shopping on Instagram or on Zoom. So every once in a while she'll post about that. So wanted to tell you about that yarn. And then I just got some new yarn in the shop, or not in the shop, in the studio today. Or not today, I got it Monday. I got it. This is from Sewrella Yarns. Let me put her website up there. Now, Sewrella used to be, or she still is, I guess, a crochet pattern designer and blogger. She's one of the bloggers who did the free patterns on her blog. She decided to start dyeing yarn, and it kind of blew up on her. So now she's pretty much full-time a yarn dyeing company. So that's her yarn website. If you take the word yarn off, that'll bring you to her crochet website. This is Haunted Mansion. She just did a release of a collection for Disneyland, not Disney World, Disneyland. And my family loves the Haunted Mansion. Even my kids, when they were little, we took them to Disney World. They haven't been to Disneyland yet, which is really surprising because we live on the West Coast. My husband and I have gone to Disneyland for years. Even I, as a child, he as a child. And then when we got married, that was like a yearly thing. We went to Disneyland, and we haven't gone since we had kids. So, but we were in Washington too. So it's a harder trip to do when you're that far away. But anyway, so Haunted Mansion. So it's got purples and sagey greens in there. It's just gorgeous. It really does remind you of the colors they use in the Haunted Mansion. There's kind of a burgundy. It's a little lighter on the screen. Oh, if I pull it back, it's a little more true to the colorway. But isn't that gorgeous? And someone asked me, I posted it on Instagram that I got it, and someone asked me what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a shawl. Have some ideas. I just need to swatch it to see how the color is going to come out. I can't guarantee she still has these. This was a limited edition colorway. I can't guarantee she still has it on the sock weight yarn. I don't know that she's going to dye it anymore, because usually what she does is she dyes collections and then takes the collections off. And then at the beginning of the new year, she'll re-dye a bunch of the collections that were really popular. So she may not have these, at least on the sock weight on her website. I know she still has some of the Disney collection on the website. I ordered those at the end of February, and I just got them on Monday. So she was doing pre-orders, just so you guys know how that all works. So let's see. Just checked on the stitch. Yes, the stitch markers. Yes, Linda. She recommends, you can even buy a set to wear them as earrings. They're really cool. Hi, Marianne. It's good to see you. I'm so excited that you're here. And you ordered the hat pattern. I did see that come through. Thank you, everyone, for ordering the hat pattern that did. Let me pull my hat here real quick. Forgot I was going to show you guys this too. This just launched yesterday. It's actually a lot more popular than I expected it to be. I've been selling it like hotcakes. I even sold some of the printed patterns. So I only have 3 printed patterns left. So if you're interested in a print version of the pattern, I recommend you order it right away. But digitally, it's been selling like hotcakes. This is my favorite hat. It's done in a DK weight yarn. And what's really cool is that in the pattern, if you look under the special stitches, I use a stitch called the V-knit single crochet. And in the instructions at the very bottom, I have a link that you can go and watch me do the video on how to do this stitch. So the only way you get to see that video is if you buy the pattern. So I just wanted to share that with you so you guys know. And if you're a newsletter subscriber, you'll notice that I did send 2 out yesterday. I woke up in the morning and had 4 messages from people saying, I can't get it, I can't get it. And y'all know, and we're going to talk about this in a little while, y'all know I have a new website and I'm learning it. And I set the pattern to release at 4:30 yesterday afternoon instead of midnight yesterday morning. So I fixed that and I sent the second email just so that you guys knew that I had a little issue there. You love that color. Patricia, which color are you talking about? Oh, the Haunted Mansion. It's really pretty. Yes, it is really, really pretty. Sounds like a good scary time. Yes, that's a really good one too. Marianne, it is in the mail. My husband actually dropped them off yesterday, so it's on its way to you. So there you go. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a few more DK patterns in the future. So just so you guys know, because I've been getting asked that a lot, and I'm going to be doing a few more accessories other than shawls every once in a while. Like I said, this is going to be a sample pattern. It's going to be a cowl. And so I haven't done a cowl in a while. I saw Aunt Ida. I saw you came through too. Haunted Mansion, Patricia. Okay, awesome. Thank you for clarifying for me. I am still learning how to go back and forth between comments and what I'm talking about. So bear with me if I miss something. Thank you and your husband. I will. I will thank him for you. He helps me out every once in a while, so which is nice. So anyway, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I want to talk about with Haunted Mansion? Anybody have any questions for me? Oh, cool, Ruth. Ruth is actually one of the people who tested my pattern, and a gal at work. It is a great hat. It is a really great hat. I think it's going to be. I think I'm keeping this one for me because I really like this colorway, and it fits. It fits really well. And if you want it a little slouchier, you can wear it off the top of your head or make it taller. But it's got a really great brim. It's brimless other than just having single crochet or reverse single crochet on the bottom. So it's really a great little pattern. So I love it. And I love that I can remove the pom-pom and wash it if I need to. So that's a cool feature too. And yes, Linda, I saw that you bought the pattern last night. Thank you to everyone who's bought the pattern. I appreciate it. I didn't realize how popular hat patterns are. This is one of those that I have sold, I can't tell you. I mean, the first day I've never sold quite so many patterns. So I appreciate you guys. That's why I'm going to be doing a few more accessories other than just shawls. I mean, and cowls. I mean, this one is this is an older pattern. This is my coastal cowl pattern. This is actually a really great pattern if you've got a pack of mini skeins, or this one happened to be a gradient hank that was dyed as a gradient. And it has a little bit of sparkle in it. She doesn't make this anymore. It's from Whooleygan Fibers. I don't think she makes this one anymore. But if you're looking for a gradient one, this is a really simple pattern. It's a 2-row repeat, and it's one of my favorite repeats. I've used it several times for a couple things. So just a little, if you were wondering what I was wearing, you can go ahead and check out that cowl pattern too. And I do have some of those in print too, if you're interested in print patterns. So there you go. So now what I was going to do, a little tour of my my office, but it's not quite there. My husband and I did a little bit of cleanup in front. There's a couple things I want to do before I actually give you a tour of my office. But I thought I'm doing some new things on my website, and I wanted to show you a couple things on my website that you might not know about because I haven't announced them yet. And I thought I'd share them with you guys because it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's still new to me, so I'll probably mention some of this in my newsletter this week. Oh, she loves the different ways you can wear it. Yes, Ruth, that's right. I love that you can wear it in multiple ways, and that's a really fun thing about this hat. Okay. So let's back to my website really fast. I'm going to pull my website up here. Actually, you know what? I might just do a full screen of my website. Can you guys all see that? Is that pretty clear of what my website looks like? I'm just going to. Okay, Aunt Anna, I understand. It's hard when you're homeschooling to watch, but if if you're still here, just ask me some questions and I'll be glad to answer them as I'm going through this. I'm going to try to switch back and forth between my screen and the chat. So I'm going to be actually on my website right now, but hopefully you guys can see it okay. This is my website. I have the slider here that I'm going to put this here that talks. This one will always be on the front page, and there's the Bewitched cowl, and there's now my favorite hat. So as I add new patterns, I'll switch out these slides. This one will always be here until next year, but just so you know. And then this is the normal stuff. Subscribe to my newsletter. I have a new section called What's New, and whenever I add a new pattern, I add it. It'll be added to the end, and so like end of summer will drop off next time. I also have a section called Latest How-To Posts. And what I've done, so you guys know, is I have taken all the old how-to posts on my old website, and I am re-releasing them one a week, every week, since my new website went up. So this week's was the magic ring. And I'm going to go into the how-to post section in a minute, but on the bottom of the screen, you'll see that anything that's new will show up. So next Tuesday, the next one will come up. And I have enough how-to posts on my old website that they'll be happening every Tuesday until July. I think the first week of July is the last old post. And then you'll start seeing some really new posts. But what I decided to do is that I decided that a lot of these, we got a huge amount of hits when they came out and are very popular and are questions I'm still asked about. So I thought if I just re-release them every once in a while, that would be a good way to go. And then the last thing at the bottom of the screen before you get to the footer is all the live streams. So if you miss a live stream and you can't find my YouTube channel, you can always go to the bottom of my website. So as soon as I finish recording this one, I'll upload it here. and you'll see today's will be the first one. So those are coming up as well. And then I have a footer, and this has got a lot of information. Up at the top of the website, which I'm going to get to later because there's a lot of new stuff up there. I have the basics where most people want to look for things. But at the bottom, I have, my about page, but I also have my story as how I got started as a designer. So if you're interested in that, you can read that post. If you have a guild or a shop and would like to have me come teach, or you have an event in your area that you'd like me to teach at, you can go to my book, Your Events. I have the testimonials from people who have taken my classes or bought my books. I have information about being a pattern tester. So if you're interested in being a pattern tester, really important, really important information's on that page. And of course, the Whooleygan rewards, which I've talked about before, but I'm gonna put a little plug here for the Whooleygan rewards. If you have not signed up for an account on my new website, you are not receiving points for every purchase. So if you're checking out as a guest, you're not getting points. You have to be a member in order for the points to actually be activated. So if you haven't done that, you might want to do that. I can't give you points for any previous sale. So if you bought my favorite hat and you don't have an account, you won't get the points for that. But as soon as you register for an account, you'll get 25 points right off the bat. So you can click right here down at the bottom of the screen on the bottom right-hand corner. You'll see where it says Whooleygan Rewards 2. That's where you're going to sign up. The Whooleygan's Rewards page, though, is all of the details about how you earn points, what you get. You get a 5% off coupon if you have 250 points. 500 points gives you 10% off. 1,000 points gives you 15. You'll notice I don't have 25% off because that is only for newsletter subscribers. But you can get additional points off in between on all of my older patterns and books. The only thing they will not work on is classes at this moment. Oh no, I take that back. It will work on classes. It will not work on gift certificates. So if you're interested in gift certificates. And if you had points on the old site, they've all transferred. So if you haven't created your account on the new site, do that as well. And you'll still get an additional 25% or 25 points, sorry, but you'll also have all your old points. So make sure you've subscribed to your Whooleygan rewards. And then if you're a shop or a yarn dyer, I have the wholesale section, and I'm not going to go into that on this video, but if you're interested in that, of course, there's my contact page. If you're looking for people who stock my books and patterns, there's a stockist page. I have an errata page that needs to be updated in terms of service, privacy, refunds, shipping, all that. And then if you're part of the media and want to do an interview or have me come to an event or whatever, there's a media page. But that's the footer. Now, the part that I wanted to show you guys is up here at the top. Of course, there's all my patterns. You can click here for my books, click here to buy gift cards. When I schedule some online classes, they'll be here. They're not there right now because I don't have any on the books. But there's these three sections I want to talk about. The first one is news. So if you click on news, this is where anything new that's happening in the studio that I want to do a blog post about is going to be. So this is actually a blog called News. And in this case, you'll see it says my favorite hat. So last week when I announced my favorite hat, I did it on my blog and it's News. And that's why you're seeing it here under News. Okay, so now freebies. I only have two things right now. The first one is all the free patterns that are published in other places. So American Fireworks is an Afghan I did, 2000, something like that. It's still out there that they're still offering as a free pattern. A holiday ripple stocking, my cozy at home socks, which are crocheted socks, and then relax at home are knit socks. Those are both, these three are on the Yarnspirations website. And then there's the Roman rib socks. This is a knit pattern for socks that I designed. And then these last two are also on the Yarnspiration website. This is a knit kind of a poncho type thing. And then there's a crocheted shawl. American Fireworks is on the freepatterns.com website. And on Yarn Inspirations. This is on Krennic. If you know Krennic threads, that's where that pattern is. I used their thread in that sock pattern. Yarn Inspirations. So those are free patterns that you can get that I've designed, but they're elsewhere. So if you click on any of these pictures, you'll get to that pattern. Then I have another blog. This is because what's really cool is I can have multiple blogs on my website. I have something called Fifth Friday Free Patterns. So every month that has a fifth Friday, and the first month that'll be doing that is in April. So the fifth Friday in April, there'll be a free pattern posted right here. So there's nothing there right now, but Friday the 30th of April will be a free pattern that I'm going to have for everybody. So be watching for those. So those are my freebies. There are going to be more things going under freebies. I have some ideas. I don't have them in stone yet. So be watching for those. But then there's also resources. So this is where you'll find my how-to blog. So here's where all those posts you saw on the front page have been. I started March 9th with how to work with hand-dyed yarns. And I'm actually posting them in the order that I posted them on the original blog. So Magic Ring is the new one today that came out yesterday. I can't remember what next week's going to be. But what's really cool about these blogs is there are multiple posts. You can see the last few recent ones. And you can also see the categories in each post. So if you're looking for something how-to, check the categories. And click on it to see if there's something that you want to read about. So that's the how-to. Then there's also project hacks, and I only have one right now, which is my winding station. I wrote about how I built my winding station. It's using an IKEA trestle. So that's where I'm going to do hacks. And when I do stuff like that, which more and more will be happening in the future, you'll see them there. And then I have, of course, the blog with all the live streams. So you can go right to resources and see all the live streams I've done. I've only done so far the Team Whooleygan ones. I haven't put back the older ones. I don't know if I am or not. I might just put a link somewhere that says older live chats if you want to go back and watch any of those. And then my favorite products. This is a section that if you're looking for some of the things that are my favorite, a lot of this is for people who are looking for some of the things I use. So like what my newsletter software is, I use Instant Ink for my HP printer. Sticker Mule is where I get all my custom stickers. A lot of people ask me those questions, so this is a really good place to put those. I also am I will tell you, I'm an affiliate for all of these, so that's why they're there first. I will be putting like my crochet hooks and things like that. So yeah, so that's what all of this is going to be. Now, the interesting thing with Shopify now is that I am not able any longer to do the blog where it would send you out the newsletter because I would have to have a separate newsletter for each one of my blog posts that go out there, because each blog that I have. So I have like the news blog, I have the freebie blog, I have the how-to blog, I have the hacks blog, I have, I'd have to have separate ones for each one. Now, eventually I might be able to do that. I just haven't figured out how. So I'm going to come back to the screen here. I haven't figured out how to do it. So if you are looking for a notification as soon as the blog posts go up, I apologize. I'm in my newsletter, in the first newsletter of every month, I will post a listing of all the blog posts that went live the previous month so that you can go back and read them. Probably on the third Friday of the month too. I will do that. Anything that has been posted between those 2 days. But once I figure out how to do blogs, if you're interested in just getting a notification that, hey, Karen's got a new blog post up, I'm going to try to figure that out. So It's just the multiple blogs that I'm not quite sure how to do it. So until that time, the newsletter is the best place to go. Do you guys have any questions on that, though? I just wanted to make you guys aware of that, what's going on there. The other thing I wanted to tell you about that might be going on my website is that back when I first started designing in 1998, I did have a blog. And what I did back then was I would create these patterns and I would offer them for free. And some of them are really kind of hokey, but they were popular things that we did back then. Things like soda can cozies. I have a cool pattern for a hair scrunchie that has daisies on it. I have old shawl patterns that I was thinking about reviving and re-offering as free patterns. Are you guys interested in seeing older patterns that were done in like worsted weight yarns? I might remake them because I no longer have most of these. A lot of them were made in fashion yarns that are no longer available. You're welcome, Patricia. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I like, sometimes when you have a new website, it's hard for people to take the time to look at it. And so I thought I might just go ahead and show you guys so that I have a visual, so I have a place to point people to too if they're looking for something. But also use the search bar on my website. Okay, Patricia, old patterns would be new. So a lot of them are in worsted weight. I might drop some of them down to DK weight because worsted weight and I have a love-hate relationship. And unless I can find a really nice worsted weight pattern that, or a nice worsted weight yarn that I'm willing to crochet in. I mean, I don't mind most of the box store yarns, but there are some that are just really hard for me to use. And if I'm going to release a new pattern, I'd rather use something that is a little lighter weight and easier to crochet with. And, like I used a lot of red heart back in the day, and there's nothing wrong with red heart, but if I'm going to make a blanket, I want to have something that's a little softer. So I have a lot of those. I have a lot of old blanket patterns, a lot of baby patterns. I'm thinking about multiple ways of doing this. So bear with me. I'm not. DK weight would be awesome. I use exclusively USPs, but you're loving DK. DK is close enough to worsted where I can get gauged a lot of times with a worsted pattern on DK, but yet it feels a lot lighter. So I like DK a lot. And then there's some that I might even bring them down to fingering only because the thicker yarn back in the day was all really we could get. I mean, we didn't have that anything other than sport or baby weight, and those were usually specific to baby. So I might bring some of those down to a fingering once in a while, not all the time. I'm thinking about mostly DK, and if I can find a good, affordable worsted that my hands will say, yeah, okay, let's work with this. I'll do them back in worsted. So there's a ton. I can't even tell you how many. I've got poncho patterns. I've got hat patterns. I've got baby blanket patterns. I've got kids patterns. I've got shawls and scarves, and I have a couple garments and things like that. So if you're interested in that, and some of them will be offered as freebies because they're just, there's no reason I should charge for them, especially the simpler patterns. Other ones, if it depends on what I end up using for them. I mean, if there's something that I bring down to a fingering weight, and I use like an expensive yarn like these. I mean, this I think they were $30 each or $28 each. That I need to recoup some of that money back. So, and just so you guys know that some will be paid, some will be free. And I might offer more freebie patterns other than just Fifth Friday freebies. I've been thinking about that too. So it might be just free pattern Friday, and I'll just have random ones as they go. But it won't be happening till the end of April anyway. So But that'll be happening. So I'm glad to hear that you guys would like to see some of my older patterns be revived. So there's some that are so dated that I might have to take those stitch patterns and do something else with them, especially the ponchos. There's some ponchos that I look at and go, oh my God, what were we doing back then? Those yarns aren't available, you know, like the, oh gosh, Bernat had this one that looked like feathers. I can't even remember what it's called right now. And all the eyelash yarns, although I'm noticing some eyelashes coming back. I don't know if it's still there. I'm trying to think what else I have out there. But I have a ton of stuff. You may end up, if you're a subscriber to my newsletter, you may end up seeing a couple surveys about some of the patterns I'm unsure of and having you say, yeah, I'd love to see this more modern, or no. Some of the pictures are horrible because I did all my own photography back then. And I knew nothing about lighting and all that. I mean, I was a new mom on top of it all. So it's crazy. I do have a poncho pattern that is done in a cool plaid technique. And I really want to find a way to revive that one because it's really pretty. I don't know, I might make it into a shawl instead of a poncho, or make it into a shawl that can be converted into a poncho if you want to wear it as a poncho, that kind of thing. But it was a really cool pattern. So, yeah, and I just want to update them. There's a few out there that are so cool. The concept's cool. And if I do it in a current yarn, it might be better. So, okay. So you guys are making me feel better about that idea. So, cool. Awesome. And, you know, and I may use some box store yarns too, because, I know that a lot of people can't afford or want to spend the money on, you know, $28 for a skein yarn. I think I spent, yeah, this was $27. For the yarn. And a lot of times, you know, as a designer, I'll get a discount, or the fact that she's not dyeing this yarn anymore. I contacted her because I couldn't find the colorway on her website. She's sending me gratis the other yarn so that I can design and I can promote her yarn. So, you know, there's that too. I'm not always spending money on yarn, though I had to buy this one. Haunted Mansion just meant a lot. So it's not like I probably will go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's and get some yarn that I'm not using, or even knit picks. You never know. So there we go. I also love patterns that say that the pattern repeat is so many stitches. For example, 6-stitch pattern replace plus. Okay, so you want the multiples in there. The multiples for the pattern. And I'm going to be doing that more in the future if I can. If it is a stitch pattern that has a multiple. In fact, that's what I'm doing with this guy, is I will be putting in the multiples because I'm not requiring the class to use sport weight yarn. I'm going to tell them to use whatever you're comfortable with. And this is how you figure out how wide you want it to be. So there you go. Yes, and that's another reason. Yes, and that's where stitch dictionaries are important too, is you can get those multiples in there and you can use it for a dishcloth or something like that. And that's another thing I'm going to be doing once I'm starting to feel better after all these treatments is I have several stitch ideas that I want to share with you, but I want to do on video on YouTube and Rumble. And I just don't have the bandwidth right now to teach a whole lot of stuff. And so I'm thinking one of the things I'm going to be doing in April is going to be a busy month for us, just because my mother-in-law is coming this weekend. And then on the 17th, we're having our engagement party for my daughter. And so there's going to be people in and out of my house the next couple weeks. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot on social media other than I'm going to do my Wednesdays, obviously, guys. I can't go without talking to all of you. But you might not see me so much on Instagram because I have a whole list of projects that I'm doing for yarn companies. There's 3 of them for sure. Then there's this one that's going to be in my new pattern line, in my own indie pattern line, but I am doing it in conjunction with the dyer. But then I have a list. I can't even tell you how long that list is of the old patterns I want to redo. Some of the newer patterns that I need to redo. I mean, I have a sweater pattern from 2014, 2015 that I want to remake and make it more modern. Because I love the stitch pattern that I used in the body of the sweater, but the sleeves and the hem are using the crocodile stitch. And while the crocodile stitch is people are still using it, they're not using it in garments anymore. So I want to change up that sweater. So stuff like that. Oh, Marianne, I appreciate that. I would miss you guys too. And you know, even if I have to, you know, move this, I would never stop doing my lives. So I'm really excited that you guys, did you ever find someone to help me out for, I can't remember what we were talking about. I don't know who was to help me out for what. I have pattern testers. I have people doing my graphics and tech editing and that. I'm not sure. Maybe I was talking about a virtual assistant. I'm not quite ready for that yet. My brain is still not firing, if that's what you're talking about. Yes. Okay. Yes. I was thinking, and that was right before I got my cancer diagnosis. Yes, I was looking for possibly having a virtual assistant. With the cancer diagnosis, I've had to put that on the back burner because of the fact that I just don't have the brainwidth to figure out what I need help with at this point. I mean, I feel like right now I could say I need help with everything except for writing patterns. But I'm hoping that once this treatment's over, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I have 2 more, tomorrow and then next Thursday. And then I have 6 weeks of healing. And then we go back in to see if the cancer has come back or not. So once I get through May, I'll know a little more. I may end up during this healing process, because hopefully my brain will be firing on all cylinders again, and I feel less overwhelmed when I think about that part. Maybe I will put a feeler out for some help, but I definitely do want to get some people to help me with like social media planning and stuff like that. Being a jack of all trades, master of none, except for maybe crochet, is difficult when you're going through something like this. But sometimes you have to step back and say what's important, what's not, and then move forward. So, and that's kind of the place I'm at right now, if that makes sense. So hopefully I will start looking for someone, maybe even during the summer. It depends on how I'm feeling and what's going on at this point and where I need to slow down and where I need to speed up. So, but okay. Fuzzy brain feels like cotton for a brain. Yeah, it's yeah. I have a lot going on with my daughter getting married too. So, it's been interesting. You know, I had big plans for 2021. I literally back in September, I had laid out all of this stuff that I was going to do this year. And then January 7th happened, and that's when I got the cancer diagnosis. And it just, that whole plan I made, it just went to dust. So I'm now, it's kind of like, you know, I got to think about what's important right now and what I'm going to take care of myself. So there you go. Yes, too much brain overload. So yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, I always say that God has puts things in our path for a reason, and I know He's done that. I just wish He would give me some road signs and tell me why I have this in my path. But it's there. Yes, Marianne, absolutely. We make plans and God giggles, and I really think that He is definitely doing belly laughs on January 2nd, or January 7th. So there you go. But I'm doing okay. So, I mean, I'm here. I'm able to do these lives. I may not be able to have the bandwidth by mid-afternoon to completely do everything that I want to do, but I am able to do a lot, which I'm very grateful for. So, and I have you guys here to lift me up. You guys are awesome. I can't even tell you what these lives do for me. It's at the beginning of all of this, I think the doctors don't tell you how bad it can get because they're afraid you're going to say, no, I don't want any of the treatment. I was not expecting to feel quite the way I've been feeling the last few days. So today I feel almost back to normal. Still a little fuzzy brain, but almost back to normal. But I think that's, I think I was still biting off more than I could chew at the beginning of all of this, even though I thought I could do it. So there you are. That is where it is. So anyway, guys, it's 10 o'clock. Thank you, Arya. Is that how you say your name? Thank you. I appreciate that. It's 10 o'clock. So unless do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and start the sign off. For those of you who may have come in late, just so that you know, you can find out more about me at KarenHooley.com. And then you can also subscribe to my newsletter at KarenHooley.com/subscribe. If you're a newsletter subscriber, you get 25% off all new releases. So it pays to be a newsletter subscriber. They're the only ones who get such a big discount on all my patterns. So definitely do that, and you're the first to know everything. You can also follow me on Instagram at KarenHooley.com. And then if you are watching on Rumble, or if you're interested in Rumble, this is my Rumble channel. And Rumble is another video hosting software platform thing. It's actually been really great. I've been getting a lot of followers there. In fact, I think Rumble now and YouTube are almost the same, and maybe within 5 people, one way or the other. Rumble, it does not allow me to do live streams, but I do upload these lives after the fact. If you are interested in joining Rumble, I have an affiliate code. It's free to join, but I get a little bit of a kickback from them for bringing new people to the platform. All I have right now really on there are my lives and a few of my how-to videos. I'll be posting more how-to videos probably in the future going forward, and maybe in May or June. So be looking for those. And that's about it, guys. I'm just going to pop back in here. Kelly, it's Kelly. Okay, Kelly. Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Ruth. I appreciate that. I will take care of myself. I'm learning to say no, and I'm learning to say, okay, I need to just sit and crochet. So I'm learning that. You need a nap, maybe in the recliner with my cats. Actually, yesterday, I had a 2.5-hour nap with my cats on my bed. So there you go. Take care and spread kindness. Yes, very much so. Aunt Ida, everybody take care. Have a great week. I will see you next Wednesday. And also, you guys, if you need anything else from me in between now and then, you can always email me or put a comment here in the below the video. Gosh, I can't even talk. I need more coffee. I haven't even finished my first cup of coffee yet. But in the comments, you can leave me a comment as well. And I try to check them twice a week. I always check them right after the videos are done. And then I check them again sometime between this week and next week. So make sure you always contact me if you need me. It might take me a little longer sometimes, but definitely if you need me, let me know. Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a great week. And I will see you next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.